Water is so good. Like, water is so refreshing. I will never understand people who say, I don't drink water. I hate water. How are you alive? How are you alive if you don't drink water? All right, you guys, welcome back to Tulsa. So according to YouTube, I haven't done, the last weekly update I did was 20 days ago. So we're a little past due, but it is okay. As you guys can see, I have been very, very busy. So yes, I've been packing. Now that may lead you to ask the question, wow, did she finally give up? Is she packing her bags and running back to Houston with her tail between her legs? Well, I will say this. It is definitely time to leave this apartment. Stay tuned, subscribe for more updates. And I will be posting, yes, live from Tulsa and not back in the great state of Texas. Not quite yet. So, what have I been up to? Well, I finally found a loctician here. So I'm so excited. Thank you for everyone who sent me recommendations about, their friends or their family member who was a stylist or had their own salon. And I definitely have spread the word, when I'm in like Tulsa remote settings, even if, let's say, that person does blowouts or whatever. And I don't personally get blowouts, but there's people out there. There's so many of us here who are like trying to find our way, trying to find someone to do hair and nails and things like that. So yeah, I definitely have spread the word, but she did an amazing job. I mean, she retwisted the bejesus out of my hair, okay? And this is a week later, so it's not even like as clean and as cute as it was at the time. And I feel like for it to survive to this point after a week says a lot. So I will be sticking with her. I also found a dentist here in Oklahoma. Man, that was a scary process. I've been open about, and I've seen, all over like Reddit and things like that, where people just comment on and claim that there's such a horrible healthcare system here in Oklahoma. And there was a dentist's office that was recommended by at least 2 people. After reaching out to them, they are booked up, solidly booked until February. Obviously, it's an amazing dentist office, but I was way past due for my cleaning. So I found another dentist here locally. Now, offline, I have received advice, and this is no shade to Oklahoma or any dentists or dental professionals who are watching, right? Or anyone who's just really from Oklahoma and passionate about the quality of the healthcare system here, and maybe that I've been misinformed. But offline, off of YouTube and everything, I was given advice to find healthcare professionals, doctors and dentists who were trained in a different state. I feel bad. I kind of feel wrong even saying that, like putting that out in the atmosphere, but I don't know, as a newbie, as someone who is new here and just hearing all of the things that I was hearing, I took that advice, right? If I can take you guys' advice to go to Ron's Hamburgers and order a double chili spaghetti with jalapenos, I'm going to have to take your advice about finding doctors who were not trained in Oklahoma as well. But I had a great experience. I mean, the office was completely high tech. It wasn't like in the dark ages like people make it out to be. And I know they're like, going back even to my first week video, people have commented like, oh my God, I can't believe that you believed all of these things about Oklahoma as far as it being behind. But then I've also gotten other comments where people are like, oh yeah, I moved here too and I've gone through that too. Or there's still other people who are like, there is a little bit of truth to all of this. So for anyone who is outside of Tulsa and Oklahoma, I think just take this all in stride. Definitely, I'm sure that there are qualified and well-trained medical professionals here in Oklahoma, right? So I just, truly hope that does not offend anyone, but that is just the direction that I took. Okay. And yeah, the dentist office was very high tech. The staff, everyone from the front desk to the hygienist, was really cool. They seemed very knowledgeable. And most importantly, it didn't feel like a scammy experience. So, yeah, I don't know. Dentistry in Texas just felt really scammy to me. So yeah, I'm very grateful for a local dentist who gave me confidence and also wasn't trying to charge, like, and wasn't scammy. And when I say scammy, like, I don't know, dentistry, that's like a whole other separate video, the practice of dentistry in Texas. Okay, but I really was not happy with it. So what have I been up to other than packing up my entire apartment and being secretive about what's going on? Well, I went to the Philmore Museum. Let's talk about it. Yeah, overall, the Fillmore was a great experience. I was so pleasantly surprised about this museum. And like, I understand all of the people who said, you have to go to the Fillmore, you have to go to the Fillmore. I really understand why. And I understand why it's such a source of pride for Tulsans, because that museum is so cool. I can't even, it's like, yes, I've been to museums before. I think it's maybe part of it is like the layout and the flow and like how you just are able to like sort of wander through this huge mansion, right? Wander through this mansion, but the art, it just feels really accessible in a certain way. Like a lot of, yes, things are like protected and roped off in some scenarios, but there is a lot of also like interactive sort of art that you can kind of get a little bit closer to. Also, you know, I've been to some museums where they're like yelling at you saying no photography and things like that. And like photography and recording was allowed in the Fillmore. So that was awesome. And I just loved also really the representation so much, you know, being able to see like Native art, whether it was created by Native people or art depicting Native people. And I feel like that has been missing in probably every museum experience I had to this point, right? Is like, I don't know, you maybe see some Native people are like painted in with, what do you call them? Puritans? No, yeah, they're Puritans. But what's the other, who are the people who came on the Mayflower? Yeah, but I've been watching all of the stuff about like menopause and perimenopause and everything. And apparently losing your memory is part of it. I am so disappointed. This is the other thing about me. Like, but yeah, like actually seeing Native art was really awesome, you know, in that sense of it, and it not being limited to like a handful of paintings where there's just, you know, a handful of Native people in a scene with people who were arriving, let's put it like that, for the first Thanksgiving, okay? And what else have I been doing? So I visited Love Me 2 times. I have a bunch of recommendations about thrift shops. I love thrifting. I love thrifting. I love antiques. I took you guys along on my trip to the flea market. So let me just show you quickly a quick glimpse of Love Me 2 times. This isn't even beginning to show everything that they had in that store. I was totally obsessed with it. I even called my mom because she's really into like antiques and stuff like that too. And I was like, oh, I saw this, I saw that. And she's like, did you get it? I'm like, no, because I'm moving, right? And also I made a deal with myself, no tchotchkes, okay? No tchotchkes for the rest of 2024. I already bought some, but it's a healing process. You know, it's a process. I don't think I'm too bad with it though, but I just love old things. I can't help it. Hello. Thank you. Something else that happened to me, I like to talk about my just interactions and experiences I have with, I say real Tulsans, right? Or real Oklahomans. And so the other day I was in the store and I was returning. Now, you guys, I am just so unsure about what's going on with the weather here because I was hearing different things. So in my expectation of for it to be really cold and windy, and I know, thank you so much. There have been people who are like commenting and like, no, it's not like back east. Like it's very, very different. Like, yes, it does get cold and there's cold snaps and things like that, but you don't have to think of it or prepare quite in the way that you did back home. And so I had started ordering like thermals and long johns and clothes for layering and like heavy jackets and things like that with the expectation like, okay, like if it's going to be cold, if it's going to be super cold and it's going to be like what I'm used to from childhood, it should be brick, right? By like uncomfortably cold by October and then progressively just outrageously colder, right? Cold, a little uncomfortably cold, right? To where you need layers. And so I had bought all this stuff and then time went on. And like I said, now it's a month or it's probably like a month later and it didn't get that cold yet. So I went to return the thermals and stuff that I had bought. So I'm in line. The line was really long. It's like snaking through the store. And I guess I was a little huffing and puffing, sighing a little bit. And there was a lady in front of me. And I'm assuming that she must have been in her 70s. I would say like early to mid 70s, right? And so she was explaining to me that she and her husband are from a town in Oklahoma that's about somewhere between like 2.5 hours, maybe 2 hours and 45 minutes, 3 hours from Tulsa. And there is pretty much no shopping available there. And she also was explaining like they had more local stores, but I guess some of them have closed down and things like that. At any rate, she and her husband have been regularly coming to Tulsa for decades, right? Probably throughout their marriage to go shopping. Now, and I don't want to say this in the wrong way because I don't think that there's like absolutely no shopping where they live, right? I think that these are two people who are kind of adventurous. They like to come out. They like to take the trip out here. They come, they make a day of it, right? They try a restaurant, they shop, they stock up on tons of stuff. And they're going to like big box stores and Costco and they're like stocking up, right, on a lot of necessities. So it's probably like a fun trip, like a semi vacation, staycation for them. But there's a bit of necessity in it too, because they're buying things that they need to live in this small town with a small population that doesn't really have any stores. And it was very interesting just hearing that kind of perspective because, you know, obviously for someone in that situation, Tulsa is like the big city, okay? The big show in town. And they're a little nervous, you know, when they come, they're a little nervous, but they're excited and everything like that. And I'm thinking for myself, I'm like, I got to Tulsa. I'm like, wah, wah, like I'm driving. Like, I'll never forget, I was FaceTiming with our friend and I'm like, this is my first time driving into, like, you know, came through Texas, came through Oklahoma. And I did see during that drive, I did see a little bit of that, right? Those like there's really not, it just appears there's not really much of any, I wouldn't say nothing there, but it's, man. And you coming through those little towns where there's a dispensary, like the first thing you see, right? The first thing you see is a dispensary, maybe multiple dispensaries, a McDonald's, a Dollar General, right? Maybe an auto parts store, some sort of like native healthcare office you might see, you know, past like off to the side. Man, and somebody selling somebody selling used cars. 2 or 3 red lights and that's it, baby. Now, of course, I was driving through, so I didn't want to assume too much when I was coming through Oklahoma, headed to Tulsa. Like, I didn't want to assume, oh, that's all there is to this town. I'm like, there's probably more, you know what I mean? Like, if I were to turn off here or go there, maybe there's like a town or a city a little far, like just a little farther out, but it's just not on this, like, on this road, right? You have to go over there. And what I'm getting is like, no, pretty much no. You know, there's those places with like have populations of 1,000, 6,000, 3,000, or something like that, that are out there. And yeah, they just might not have all of those resources. So definitely put things in perspective for me is like, I definitely can understand more why some people may have been insulted by my comments about Tulsa being small or complaints about the shopping here. You know, because if you live here and you know that people are driving 2.5 hours just to get to your remarkable stores here in Tulsa, and then you have an outsider coming in saying shopping sucks here. I don't like banking here. I don't like, there's no nightlife here. Baby. According to this lady, and if you ever see this video, I don't know if she will, but it would be cool if she did. Nightlife is you make dinner, you sit down and eat it, you watch a little TV, and you go to bed. That is nightlife, okay? The big entertainment, she's like, oh yeah, we were talking about the tornado and like how I made it through my first tornado. And she's like, oh yeah, you know, tornado watching is one of the things. Her tale there is a tornado watching, baby. the tornado watch party. And yeah, there's not too much going on, but it's a pretty good life. You know what I mean? And I am glad that woman even spoke to me. And I think that was very interesting too, because I'm sure that she probably doesn't have very much exposure to people who look like me, right? I'll just leave it at that in the place where she lives. And she was super cool. And it was great meeting her, but definitely put things in perspective for me, more about the life and the lifestyle that some people have in Oklahoma, right? It's very interesting. And, you know, I have friends, and I've even gotten into it myself of like, oh man, I would love to just be like out, have, you know, lands and raise some livestock and grow my own produce. And it sounds like a dream, you know, and it's a dream, because realistically, even people who are in that situation, there's going to be things that you cannot grow on your farm that you're going to need, and you're going to have to get somewhere to get to them. And so living in isolation might not always be cool. I can't imagine, you know, if my mom was 2.5 hours to go to Costco or a grocery store or to go to look for clothes. I think that's excellent for her and her husband that they are able to do that. But I'm sure there are people who don't even have access to things like that. And I guess they're probably seriously limited, right? They're going to have to go to Dollar General, or I don't know. Do you get everything from Amazon? How does that work? You know, there's probably a Walmart somewhere. I don't know. I don't want to keep rambling on about that, but just a very interesting interaction. Just gave me a peek into a quick peek into life in Oklahoma. So yeah, Tulsa and OKC, it sounds like, are the big show, right? They're the big thing happening here in Oklahoma, the big city, if you will. And then even there's some debate about Tulsa compared to Oklahoma, that Oklahoma has more to offer. I'll just say that, that Oklahoma City has just more to offer than Tulsa does, you know. So that is very interesting. I still have not made my way to Oklahoma City, and I plan to do that very soon. Like I said, I mean, there's so many things, you guys. I have so many videos in the can that need to be edited, or the editing needs to be completed. And once I get through this little process, I will update you guys, let you know what has been going on, and hopefully get those videos out there. Some of the different neighborhoods that I have visited, events that I've gone to, and things like that. I am so glad and so grateful that my videos have helped some people who are considering moving to Tulsa. I also had a request from someone who is moving to Tulsa, not with the Tulsa Remote program, but for an opportunity to work in healthcare. So speaking of the healthcare system here. And so please stay tuned. Please be patient with me. I know it probably was like 2 weeks ago that I told you I would do that video you requested, but it's on the way. Also more apartment reviews and things like that. So thank you guys so much for watching. Love y'all. Peace. Peace.